Oh my god.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, which you probably are because I don't actually have that many subscribers, welcome. I basically do makeup tutorials and chit chat, get ready with me, and just all of those wonderful makeup-y things, which you probably know because you probably selected this video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to get a specific look that I recently posted on my Instagram. I'll just put up some pictures in both corners, or this corner.
Stop it. Get some help.
Basically, with this look, I was inspired by MAC Cosmetics. I was just having a look on all of the sort of top brand websites to see what was trending and whatever. I just had an inkling to like sort of look through like all of the current trends and things like that because I was feeling a bit uninspired. And I came across the trend of monochrome moment. So basically that just means that your makeup follows a common trend of, or a common theme of a specific colour, and I went with coral. I went mostly matte, but I did add a pop of shimmer on the inner corner as I always do. A corally shade on the lips, and it was a very blended out moment. It wasn't sort of, it was more of a colour wash rather than anything very intricate or liner art or anything like that I usually do. If you are more interested in that kind of look, then I also have a few videos on that on my channel and you can check those out as well. I also did an Instagram poll, and apparently most of my Instagram followers want to see more naturally stuff, and I actually got a recommendation to do a video on this look. It was quite a popular look that I posted. I actually did it for an interview. It's great for the summer, it's great for a pop of colour in the spring as well, which is fast approaching. The weather in the UK has been super weird. Like raining, lots of sun, the wind has been ridiculous. So RIP to my hair. Yeah, it's been looking a bit sad recently, but I've just re-zhuzhed it, and yeah, why don't we just go straight into this video because now I'm rambling. Basically, I'll be using the Juvia's Place Magic Mini palette. This palette has honestly proven so useful to me. Like, the amount of different colours in there is insane, and like I know a lot of people would look at that and say, oh, I wouldn't be using most of those colours, but like it comes in really handy if you randomly decide to like go out on a whim and sort of play around with different colours that you don't usually use, and that is very much me. There was a few sales going on, so that's when I purchased these palettes. I got another Juvia's Place palette, the Saharan 2. Again, really useful palette. There's a few pops of like sort of colours that aren't that commonly used, and the others are sort of more neutral, but then you've got like this gorgeous shade. I love this shade so much. This is actually one of the ones that I'm going to be using today. It's a corally colour, it's like a peach tone. I'm really terrible at swatches, but it sort of shifts pink and gold. Just mixing those together to get a beautiful corally shade. And then using the same undertones with the blush that I'll be using and the lip as well, just to make everything nice and cohesive and make it a monochrome moment. I'm going to start by priming my eyelid. I'm going to be using the P. Louise base, and I'm actually using this in probably the lightest shade. Oh wait, no, it's 0.5. I just want the colour to really pop on my eyelid, and the only place that it's really going to show is probably my brow bone. I'm just going to use a synthetic brush, and I'm just going to pop that all over the lid, all the way up to my brow bone. Quite a lot on there, because we want to get those lids covered. I've gotten quite a lot of darkness and patchiness and sort of veins showing through on my lids recently, just because I was ill for a while, and like my skin's just not been doing great with the whole weather changes and things like that. So yeah, that's one plus with this base, other than the fact that your eyeshadow will literally stay on forever. I'm just tapping that in with a dry beauty blender, which is what Nikki Tutorials does. I actually haven't tried that out before, but I guess it kind of works to sort of set it so it doesn't crease because it's dry. I like to ad-lib on a lot of my videos and like my looks and stuff, but since I'm recreating it, I'm going to try and get it as accurate as possible to what I did last time. I'm going to start with a more dense brush, and I'm going to take Nana first and start by mapping that out into my crease. It's not the most precise look in the world, so I'm literally just stamping it all over in my crease. And I'm using sort of stippling motions to blend it out, because with this base I find that if you work too roughly with it and you do sort of like windshield wiper motions, it disturbs the base, it really does. And you end up with like unevenness and like crustiness and things. So I'm sort of keeping it in the same place, rotating it, then moving, and then keeping it in the same place, so that I'm not disturbing the base, it's sleeping soundly, you want it laying fine. So that's really the intensity that I'm going for. I don't want to make it like super intense because we are actually going to make it a little bit more pinky looking than this, and this is basically just going to be our transition shade. Because it's quite bright, I wanted it to be quite a sheer layer so that it's not overpowering. So what we've done is we've brought it quite far out, definitely to the end of your brow area. We don't need to worry about it being too messy on the outer corners because we are going to be doing a smoky wing. So what we'll do is we'll end up packing on some black here in like a wing shape, and then we'll clean it up. Next we're going to take a mixture of Kogi and Zakia or Zakia. So we're taking them both on the same brush, and we're just going to pack that just underneath. We don't want to worry too much about getting it all over the crease because at the end of the day, these are basically the colours that we want on our crease anyway. So we're just going to make sure that we don't overpower the subtleness of the orange above. We want to leave a little bit of a gap because we do want this to get gradually pinker. Because at the moment it's looking very orange, and obviously orange is like the corally shade that we want, but I'm kind of going for like a pinkier look because at the moment it's just looking orange. Honestly, anyone can do this, like even if you're not too confident in your blending skills. Like it's kind of a messy look anyway. It's more of a grungy vibe. It gives you a grungy look by bringing colour into this. See this little crevice here in your eye socket? Bring the colour there, brings a little bit of darkness and shadow, and it gives you the grungy look that we seem to be going for today. But by brightening up the inner corners, we don't close off the eye or, you know, make it too sort of messy looking. Just the right amount of mess is what I like to say. So lastly, we're just taking Kogi alone, and we're going to put that right onto the lid. Sorry, I open my mouth when I'm doing anything on my eyes. I can't do it with closing my mouth because we want to get right down to where the lash line is. But again, it doesn't matter too much because we are going to be darkening that up with a black smoky wing. And honestly, just don't, I know it seems like, oh, it already looks kind of blended, but do not miss the steps in between where you blend the colours together because it does show once you go out into the world, into the sunlight. So can you see how it's like gone gradually from a pinker coral into an orange kind of coral? Even though I kind of wanted to go for a matte look, I always go for a little pop of shimmer on the centre of the lid at least. So I went for my Sahara 2 palette by Juvia's Space, and I went into that gorgeous Marrakesh colour. And honestly, using your finger is the easiest and actually one of the most effective ways of getting that pigment payoff. It's kind of like a tap and swipe stippling motion. And then I'm just going to blend out the edges, being careful not to blend the shimmery part too blown out over the whole lid because we want it to really be concentrated in that centre area there. Guys, my skin has been so sad recently, I don't know what's happening. Fix one problem about your skin and then another one arises. It's never a win-win with my skin. Wow, that rhymed. So as I mentioned before, I do like to bring a little bit of brightness and shimmer to the inner corner. So now I'm taking Aziza, this golden colour, popping that just into the inner corner. We definitely want to blend it out, but we don't want it to come out too far. We want it right in that tear duct area. Nice and concentrated. And I quite like when it comes sort of in a little bit. Really gives that brightening effect. Now we want to move on to the part that a lot of people find quite difficult, which is the smoky liner. So I've just organised all my makeup, you guys. It's literally never looked better. I got those rainbow organising drawers that we've literally had here for arts and crafts since I was a kid, and I just sort of like disinfected everything, cleaned everything, did a Marie Kondo, chucked away anything I didn't need, and it looks so good now. Like, it's all organised and so much easier to find everything. So good. Can't remember where this eye pencil is from, but it's really good and really pigmented. It's Le Col by Superliner. I think it's probably L'Oreal because it says Superliner on it. Anyway, yeah, this is like one of the most creamiest and most pigmented pencils that I've ever used in my life. But the only thing is, when you do go to sharpen it, it just fully breaks off in the sharpener and it's very annoying. So beware of that. Why don't I zoom you in a little bit actually, so that we can see the liner. Bloody perfect. Right, so we're going to start out by literally just going full Cleopatra. We're going to draw a line right against the lash line. Very, very close. We don't want to go too far out because we are going to blend it and we don't want it to take over our whole lid, especially if you've got a small lid space like me, or even less lid space than me. We don't want to go too far out, or too far up, so to speak. So we're really concentrating the colour on the outer corner. Do want to get a little bit underneath here though. And then just tight line as well while you're at it. This is going to be a mess. We don't mind though, because remember, we are cleaning it up. We're going to be cleaning it up right up into the hairline like this. This way we want to drag it out and up. We don't want to drag it out too parallel, and we don't put it sort of like towards the end of my brow, for example, because that's way too straight up. Following this line basically. Yeah, so again, that was a mistake, but that's a perfect guideline for me. That's where we want to be drawing it. And again, not too far out because we are going to be blending it. We want to fill that in like it's a normal wing. Next, I'm going to take this little brush here. It is fraying, but whatever. It's an angled brush. It's perfect for this. It's quite dense as well. Yeah, so as you can see, I'm just using the tiniest flicking motions. That sounded like I swore. I didn't. To wing it out in a smoky way. The top line is going to be where we want it to be smoky. And obviously the further you come in, the less of that line there is to smoke out. So we just end up blending on the line, literally. As you can see, we've kind of lost some definition here. Don't worry about that again, because now we're going to go in with this Anastasia Beverly Hills Super Pigmented Single Black Shadow. This one is Noir, but you can use any black shadow that you have at home. So this is my brush that I have black shadow on. You can use the same brush, literally. This is a very low maintenance type of look. You can just use the same brush. And we're just going to stamp, just dip and stamp. So we're just going to sort of stamp it into the underneath. And then once we've stamped it here underneath, we're going to fade out the rest. But again, we don't want to put too much because we don't want it to be a harsh line. So just whatever's left on the brush after you've finished, use that on the bit that's supposed to be a bit graduated. We really want the intensity of the black in the lash line. See how great that looks? Anyway, this short shader brush is what I usually use to blend out the underneath of my eye, because actually it's quite a big clumsy guy. But because we want this to be a little bit messier, a little bit more faded out, I'm going to go in just above here and just barely touching, literally barely touching. Fade it out, give it even more of a smoky feel, but we're barely touching because we don't want to again lose the intensity that we've just added. And you can go back and forth with the black, with the blending, with anything to just get the style that you want. Where's my brush? I'm going back and forth. We don't care about the underneath, we'll clean that up later. And then as you can see, I've gotten a little bit of black here. That's going to ruin the illusion of the wing. So we can just go back in with the brush with the excess. We're not adding any more colour, we're using the excess on this brush. And we're just gonna, it sort of adds a little bit of coral, and then we're gonna have to go in with our very fluffy brush, get it out again, and that's perfect. So in this brief intermission, I forgot that I actually need to show you how to clean up underneath. Basically all I've done to make it nice and subtle rather than like a completely sharp line is I just put my primer on. I was using the e.l.f. Let me just check which one it is. Mineral Infused Face Primer. It's quite a slick primer. I'm going to just literally underneath. We don't want to go like too close because we've already kind of mapped out the shape. We don't really need to do much. Just get any excess that's fallen underneath and wipe it away. So we really want to have the sheerest amount of foundation in this area so that we're not tempted to blend up over the hard work that we've done. Okay, so we have done foundation, primer, foundation, concealer, powder, we've done contour, we've done bronzing. I just thought I'd spare you guys that because it's basically always the same for me. At the end of the video I'll probably link some more videos where I have gone through that routine just with a different look. The more undone, messy brow look I thought would pair well with it. All I did was brush my brows up with a clean spoolie with nothing on it. If you've got exceptionally long brow hairs, maybe give them a tiny bit of a trim, not too much, seriously. Yeah, and then I just put some brow gel through it. I used the Double Duty Beauty Busy Gal Brows by Tarte to just comb through them and fill them out a little bit. Now I'm literally going to use my Anastasia Beverly Hills, what is this actually called? It's called Pro Pencil. It's an eyeshadow primer and colour corrector, but I use it in my waterline as a nude waterline. Can you see the difference? As I said before, it's going to really brighten up your eye and make it look just brighter. I'm going to take some of that black shadow just in the lash line. And we kind of want to stop about here because we don't want it to get too dark towards the inner corner. And that will make your lashes look a little bit thicker. Speaking of lashes, then you can go ahead and pop on some mascara. You can use any falsies you want. Today I don't think I'm going to be putting on any lashes. I don't really have anywhere to go, and yeah, it's more of a grungy look. I'm just going to go ahead and layer on some mascara, and I think that would do the trick for me today. Today I'm going to be using the Superhero mascara by It Cosmetics. So it's as simple as this. We want to be matching the colour of the eyes to the colour of the blush and the lips. I obviously went for like a more corally colour, so I'm going to go for more of a corally blush, like an orangey tone blush. This is Pearlescent Pink by Wet n Wild. It's the Colour Icon blush. And I like to layer it on quite a bit with like a smaller flat top brush, just to really concentrate where we get the pigment. So first I'm just tapping it into the area that I want, and then like feathering it out on the edges. And then I'm going to go in with this, you guessed it, coral colour. So this is the Too Faced Melted Liquefied Longwear Lipstick in the colour Melted Melon. And it's just going to tie everything together really well. I'm only going to be dabbing on the centre of my lips. So I'm still making sure to dab it everywhere that is normal for the lipstick to go. I'm just making sure that the excess goes on the outer portion of the lips and most of the concentration of colour is on the inside. And yeah, that's basically it for the look in general. Stay tuned if you want to see how I get the perfect, more natural looking faux freckles look. I'm not someone who is naturally blessed with any kind of like natural freckles or anything. I wish I was. I find them so cute. My boyfriend has freckles, and a lot of my friends have freckles. When the faux freckle trend started, I was kind of like, oh, like if you do it wrong it makes you look older and like things like that, and there was a lot of like sort of like apprehensiveness about faux freckles, but I think it's just doing it right to suit yourself. I tried it for a while with brow pomades and things like that, and I think those were way too harsh for me, but I find this trick is pretty good for me to make them look really subtle. So the trick that I'm going to be using is to literally just use your bronzer shade. A lot of people are kind of apprehensive to use a bronzer shade because they think that their freckles should be brown, that bronzer might be a bit too orange, but actually it's kind of perfect because if you think about it, your bronzer shade should be your tanning shade. It should be the shade that you put around the perimeters of your face where the sun hits and you get pigment coming through in your skin naturally in a tanning fashion, and that is what freckles are basically. I'm going to be using the back of my spoolie and I'm going to dip right into my Hoola bronzer. and I'm going to be concentrating them around my nose, the bridge of my nose. Oh, that one came out quite large actually. And don't be afraid, because like honestly, if you make a mistake or you think that one looks ugly or that one's too large, or don't worry about it, you can literally just dab them off like, I don't like that one. Go. Once you're done with the first batch, you just want to be dabbing over the top. We don't want to be wiping away, we just want to be dabbing. And now you're thinking, hell, what's the point? I literally can't even see them anymore. Now you go back in, enhance the ones that you want to be prominent. And then I'm just going to go ahead and add some of my Pixie Glow Mist. This is literally the best setting spray to give you your glowy finish. Like, I literally always use this when I'm going for like a youthful glowy look. Oh my god. For sake. Rub it off. You've been loyal to me and you just turned on me.
I was rooting for you! We were all rooting for you! How dare you!
Well, it must be because it's running out, literally. My bad. But I mean, I look glowy and healthy, so who cares? And I have 2 more because it really is my favourite product. Just beware that when it runs out, it does that to you. That'll definitely be going in the thumbnail. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Shout out to Vespina for recommending that I shoot this video. She saw the look on Instagram and really liked it and wanted to see how to do, I think it was specifically the Smokey liner. So I hope this was really useful to you, Vespina. My cousin, by the way, you guys. I hope that this was useful to other people who want to jump on the monochrome moment trend, or even those of you who came here for the faux freckles. Yeah, it's definitely a mix and match of a lot of different beauty trends that have been going around. I definitely enjoyed making it and I feel like the look came together really well, and I'm glad that I got the opportunity to personally recreate the look in a video that will be useful to loads of people. So yeah, comment below your favourite beauty trend right now and I'll see you in the next one. You guys, I just wanted to do a quick side note at the end of this video because I just got a package from Ashley. I'll put her picture or her YouTube or her Instagram or something on the screen. But yeah, she's one of my favourite beauty YouTubers and I bought some of her merch. Literally none of my size was left, but I don't care because it's so pretty. And I love oversized t-shirts anyway, like this is literally huge, but honestly, now I can DIY it the way that she does. She's amazing at that, so I can just watch some of those videos and dye it and cut it and do things to it. I really like her Ashtoberfest logo anyway, so I'm really happy with it and I love pastel colours. She sent me some free makeup, so it was Revlon Super Lustrous Lip Gloss in Sugar Violet. So I'm really excited to use this. Go follow her because she's a huge source of inspiration for me and my channel, so yeah. Okay, I'm actually saying bye now. Okay, I'm actually going now. Okay, bye bye.